these types of processes tend to be cumbersome and slow, but it's ultimately critically important that we get government support in this top-down approach. At the same time, we can't just wait for governments to act because that can take a long time. We need to be proactive on the ground, and so we are active trying to push from the bottom up towards the same goal, to achieve the same aims. And the bottom-up approach, one of the things we were talking about, has been dubbed the 6% solution. And the reason it's called the 6% solution is because today, when we look at the landscape, these dark spots represent 42 different source sites where we have reproducing populations of tigers. Those 6%, that 6% of habitat, tiger habitat today, retains 70% of the world's tigers. Okay? And even though they're critical, we recognize that there's all kinds of things happening even when these small critical areas. Just a paper I read yesterday, I just put this into my talk, 71% of protected areas where there are tigers are still undergoing deforestation and fragmentation. These are these little key areas, not just the larger orange areas. 58% of these protected areas still have settlements in them. There's still people in there trying to coexist with tigers. Okay? We are very much in what in the medicinal world they call a triage. Okay? In triage, what you do if you're in a war situation, you're a doctor, you treat those patients that have the greatest chance of survival. We believe that tigers have the greatest chance of survival in these core areas, and that's where we're focusing most of our efforts. Okay? So, in Russia, just to give you a little bit of background of the situation there, the tigers, Siberian tigers, used to occur across Northeast Asia, Manchurian China. The Korean Peninsula was largely inhabited by tigers, and tigers snuck into a little bit of the Far Eastern Russia. This actually technically isn't Siberia. In Russia, it's called the Far East Russia, but nonetheless, these tigers became known as Siberian tigers. That range has collapsed along with other ranges of the other subspecies of tigers, so that now the only place where there's a viable population of Siberian tigers is in this little sliver of habitat that is part of Russia. Ironically, this used to be China. In 1886, China and Russia signed a treaty that said that the Amur River, which runs along here, was the border. But China was engaged with a little revolt down south, and Russia used the opportunity to steal this land, essentially from the Chinese, and that now land has been protected and is largely why there are tigers, Siberian tigers in the world today. This is the largest intact tract of habitat for tigers in the world, and this is probably the largest population of tigers remaining in the world. Yet, when you look at this map, where we have a very detailed look at where this suitable habitat, you can see that even here, there is fragmentation of this habitat. We are seeing new pipelines being built. We're seeing